Alright guys, here it is. A few people have asked about some settings and setup stuff for CS, so I thought I'd put a little video together just to go through everything. So this will be my full CS2 settings, gear and setup for 2025. Everything I use to train, record and grind the road to FACEIT series. Let's get straight into it. So in addition to running through everything in the video, I'll also put my Pastebin link in the description, so if you want to check anything out, test it, then feel free to do that. So starting off with mouse settings, this is probably one of the most common things that people ask about. I currently use 800 DPI with a 2.45 in-game sensitivity. So that gives an eDPI of 2000. I do sometimes jump to 2.5 depending on how I'm feeling. It's kind of a comfortable middle ground, not super low, not high, and it gives me control for holding angles, but also being quick enough to be able to turn around and take close range fights. The raw input is on, mouse acceleration is off, and the Windows is just on default 6 out of 11. I always choose consistency over everything else. So crosshair wise, this is my current crosshair. I'll link the code again in the Pastebin. It's clean, pretty tight, doesn't block your view of looking when you're holding angles. In addition to that, yes, I have got slightly different view models. I've only really recently just got into this. I'm using ones that are kind of 1.6 style because obviously that's where I come from. So the offset X is 2.0, offset Y is -1, offset Z is -2, and it's just kind of feels natural to me. So video settings. In game I play with 1280 by 1024. That's 4:3 stretched full screen. I come from playing on like a 800 by 600 res in 1.6, so kind of feels good to me. I like the slightly wider models, means it's a bit easier to see. You do lose a bit of FOV though, so keep that in mind. Anti-aliasing is 2 times MSAA. The boost player contrast is enabled. Textures on medium, global shadows are high, and everything else like shaders and particle detail are low. VSync disabled. FPS is uncapped because I just want to get the most I can while being consistent. The idea is just to keep as much visible as possible and keep the game running as smooth as possible. Keybinds wise, not really anything crazy. The only thing I've done recently is rather than scrolling through nades is I kept my HE on 4, Molotov on Z, Smoke on X and Flash on C. Just helps keep things nice and quick to access. Other than that, everything's pretty much default on that side of things. For launch options, I just have it really simple. I use the allow third-party software. I don't know if the no-vid actually works, and I set the tick rate to 128. Nothing else is really required. Sometimes I hard code my resolution there, but because I'm swapping between in-game, like my playing res and my recording res, now I don't bother anymore. So in terms of hardware, mouse-wise, I'm using the Logitech G Pro Wireless. It's light, but not too light. I really can't stand those really super light mice. They just don't feel like they're actually in your hand. It's pretty responsive, decent ergonomic shape, and just does the job. Mousepad wise, I got a giant, just an Amazon desk pad, nothing flashy at all. I might look to replace that soon, but it does the job. Keyboard is the Logitech G915 TKL. Low profile, it's wireless, and the keys feel good. Nice positive feedback on them. Headset wise, I use the SteelSeries Arctic One wireless. Decent sound again. Because it's wireless, you're not tethered to anything. No cables getting in your way. Decent mic most of the time. And I'm used to SteelSeries stuff, obviously having been sponsored by them in the past. And the monitor is an MSI G241 running at 144 Hz. Not the highest you can get, but it works perfectly fine for me, and I don't have any issues with FPS versus refresh rate. For my PC, I'm running a Ryzen 5800 X3D, an NVIDIA RTX 4070, 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance Pro RGB. Storage is, yeah, I've got some various M.2 SSDs. So far I've found that the 5800 X3D is really good for CS. It's yeah, it doesn't struggle at all. And the 4070 is pretty good for recording and encoding and stuff, recording videos, so that works well. So that's the basics of what I'm using. Hopefully you can have a look through the settings that I've got, sharing everything in the Pastebin link. If you're really interested here, if there's anything that you notice that might be better to change, any settings that kind of work better for you guys, let me know. Always interested to try out new stuff and see how other people do it and what successes they have. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Road to FACEIT.